Picture this, you're at a party, and while everyone else is desperately networking, making small talk, and collecting phone numbers like they're trading cards, there's one guy standing apart. He's not antisocial, he's not shy, and he's definitely not lacking in confidence. He's observing, calculating, and choosing his interactions with surgical precision. That man is a Sigma male, and if you're watching this video, chances are you recognize yourself in that description. Welcome back to Official Sigma Male, the only channel that truly understands the enigmatic world of the Sigma mindset. I'm here to dive deep into one of the most misunderstood aspects of Sigma male psychology, why we have so few friends and why that's actually our greatest strength, not our weakness. Today, we're going to shatter the myth that having fewer friends means you're somehow deficient or unsuccessful in life. Society has programmed us to believe that popularity equals worth, that a packed social calendar means you're winning at life. But what if I told you that the Sigma male's approach to friendship is actually a masterclass in strategic living? What if those few friends are actually carefully curated relationships that provide more value, loyalty, and authentic connection than 100 superficial acquaintances ever could? In the next few minutes, we're going to explore the 6 fundamental reasons why Sigma males maintain smaller social circles, and why this approach isn't just natural for us, it's essential for our success and well-being. From strategic solitude to the price of authenticity, we'll uncover the psychology behind the Sigma's selective social approach. If you're a Sigma male who's ever felt misunderstood for your social preferences, or if you're curious about why some of the most successful and influential men in history maintain tight-knit inner circles rather than vast networks, this video is for you. We're going to validate your instincts, explain your nature, and show you why your approach to friendship is actually a competitive advantage in a world full of superficial connections. But before we dive in, do me a favor. If you're tired of generic relationship advice that doesn't apply to the Sigma mindset, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. This channel is dedicated to understanding and celebrating the unique psychology of men who choose their own path, who value substance over surface, and who understand that true strength comes from within. Let's get started. Strategic solitude. Let me start with a question that's going to hit close to home. When was the last time you deliberately chose to spend time alone instead of accepting a social invitation? Not because you were tired, not because you had other plans, but because you genuinely preferred your own company to whatever group activity was on offer? If you're a true Sigma male, this scenario isn't just familiar, it's practically your weekend routine. This is what I call strategic solitude, and it's the #1 reason why Sigma males have fewer friends than their alpha and beta counterparts. But here's where most people get it completely wrong. They assume solitude equals loneliness, that choosing to be alone means you're somehow deficient in social skills or confidence. Nothing could be further from the truth. Strategic solitude is a power move, not a defense mechanism. It's the conscious decision to prioritize quality time with yourself over mediocre time with others. While the average person fears being alone with their thoughts, the Sigma male thrives in that space. This isn't antisocial behavior, it's highly intelligent resource management. Think about it this way: every social interaction requires energy, attention, and emotional investment. The Sigma male understands that these resources are finite and precious. Instead of scattering them across dozens of superficial interactions, he concentrates them where they'll have the maximum impact. This might mean declining 3 different party invitations to spend Saturday reading, reflecting, or working on a personal project that actually moves his life forward. Let me give you a concrete example. I know a Sigma entrepreneur who built a multi-million-dollar company while his college friends were out networking at every industry event in town. While they were collecting business cards and making small talk, he was in his home office, analyzing market trends, developing products, and building systems. His antisocial behavior during his 20s directly contributed to his financial freedom in his 30s. Now, when he does choose to socialize, it's from a position of strength, not need. This strategic approach to solitude serves multiple functions in the Sigma's life. First, it provides the mental space necessary for deep thinking and creative problem solving. Innovation doesn't happen in crowded rooms full of groupthink. It happens in quiet moments when the mind is free to wander and connect disparate ideas. Some of history's greatest breakthroughs came from individuals who spent considerable time alone with their thoughts. Second, strategic solitude allows for authentic self-development. When you're constantly surrounded by others, you're inevitably influenced by their opinions, expectations, and energy. The Sigma male understands that true personal growth requires periods of isolation where you can honestly assess your progress, realign with your values, and make course corrections without external pressure or influence. Third, it creates an air of mystery and intrigue that actually makes the Sigma more attractive to others. Scarcity creates value, and when you're not always available, when you don't show up to every social gathering, people start to wonder what you're doing with your time. This selective availability makes your presence more meaningful when you do choose to show up. But perhaps most importantly, strategic solitude is how Sigma males maintain their independence and avoid the group dynamics that can pull them off. Of course, every friend group has its own culture, its own unwritten rules, and its own way of thinking about the world. The more time you spend embedded in these groups, the more likely you are to unconsciously adopt their limitations, their biases, and their collective mediocrity. The Sigma male intuitively understands what psychologists call social contagion, the tendency for emotions, behaviors, and attitudes to spread through social networks. By maintaining strategic distance, he protects his own mindset and decision-making processes from unwanted influence. He can engage with groups when it serves his purposes, but he never becomes so embedded that he loses his ability to think independently. This doesn't mean Sigma males are hermits or completely antisocial. Rather, they're incredibly selective about when, where, and with whom they choose to invest their social energy. They might decline 10 superficial social opportunities to make space for one meaningful conversation with a mentor, a deep connection with a romantic partner, or focus time on a passion project. The result is a life lived with greater intentionality and authenticity. While others are exhausted from managing multiple superficial relationships and keeping up with social obligations, the Sigma male has energy reserves for the things that actually matter to him. He's not spread thin across a dozen different social circles. He's concentrated and focused on the relationships and activities that align with his values and goals. This strategic approach to solitude also explains why Sigma males often seem so comfortable in their own skin. They've spent enough quality time with themselves to know who they are, what they want, and what they stand for. This self-knowledge creates an unshakable confidence that doesn't depend on external validation or group approval. In a world that's becoming increasingly connected but paradoxically more lonely, the Sigma male's embrace of strategic solitude is both countercultural and prophetic. While others desperately seek connection through social media, networking events, and constant social stimulation, the Sigma has learned to find fulfillment, creativity, and purpose in his own company. The next time someone questions your preference for solitude or suggests you need to be more social, remember this: you're not avoiding life, you're curating it, you're not missing out, you're choosing better. And most importantly, you're not alone. You're strategically positioned for success, growth, and authentic living in a world that has forgotten the power of intentional solitude. Quality over quantity. Here's a truth that will shake the foundation. Of everything society has taught you about friendship, having 500 Facebook friends doesn't make you more successful, happier, or better connected than having 5 real ones. In fact, it often makes you weaker, more scattered, and less authentic. The Sigma male instinctively understands this principle and builds his social life accordingly, while the average person collects relationships like trophies, constantly expanding their social network without considering the quality of these connections. The Sigma male operates like a master curator. He doesn't want more friends, he wants better friends. He doesn't seek to be popular. He seeks to be valued by people worth valuing. This quality over quantity approach stems from a fundamental understanding of how relationships actually work. Meaningful relationships require time, energy, emotional investment, and mutual respect. These are finite resources, and spreading them too thin inevitably leads to superficial connections that provide little real value to either party. Research in social psychology supports this Sigma approach. The famous Dunbar's number suggests that humans can only maintain about 150 stable social relationships, with only about 5 being truly intimate friendships. The Sigma male takes this concept even further, recognizing that his unique personality and lifestyle can optimally support even fewer deep connections. Consider the difference between an alpha male's typical Friday night and a Sigma's. The alpha might hit 3 different parties, network with dozens of people, collect numerous phone numbers, and consider it a successful evening. The Sigma might have 1 3-hour dinner with a close friend, discussing philosophy, sharing genuine struggles, and deepening a relationship that's been building for years. Who had the more valuable evening? The Sigma's selective approach means that when he does invest in a friendship, it tends to be extraordinarily strong and lasting. These aren't fair-weather friends who disappear when times get tough. They're carefully chosen individuals who share similar values, intellectual curiosity, and commitment to personal growth. They're people who enhance the Sigma's life rather than drain it. This quality focus also means Sigma males are incredibly loyal friends to those who make the cut. Because they've invested significant time and energy in selecting and nurturing these relationships, they don't take them lightly. They show up when it matters, provide genuine support during difficult times, and celebrate authentic successes. The practical benefits of this approach are enormous. Instead of juggling dozens of social obligations, birthday parties, and superficial catch-ups, the Sigma male has mental and emotional bandwidth for deeper pursuits. He's not constantly checking his phone for messages from acquaintances or feeling guilty about not keeping up with everyone's lives on social media. Furthermore, this selective approach naturally filters out toxic or energy-draining individuals. When you have high standards for friendship, people who are negative, manipulative, or self-serving tend to reveal themselves quickly and get filtered out before they can cause damage. The Sigma's small circle becomes a safe space filled with positive, supportive individuals. Quality relationships also provide better opportunities for personal and professional growth. One meaningful connection with someone you respect and admire can be worth more than 100 superficial networking contacts. These deep relationships often lead to genuine mentorship, collaboration opportunities, and mutual support that advances everyone involved. The Sigma's quality-focused approach also creates a positive feedback loop. When you're selective about friendships and invest deeply in the ones you choose, you attract other high-quality individuals who appreciate and reciprocate that level of commitment. Your social circle becomes a concentration of exceptional people rather than a diluted mix of random acquaintances. This doesn't mean Sigma males are elitist or dismissive of others. Rather, they understand their own needs, capabilities, and goals well enough to make conscious choices about where to invest their relational energy. They treat friendship as the valuable resource it is, rather than something to be given away carelessly to anyone who shows interest. In a world obsessed with followers, likes, and superficial metrics of social success, the Sigma male's commitment to quality over quantity stands as a powerful statement about what really matters in human connection. The independence factor. Sigma males are wired for independence, and this fundamental trait directly impacts how they approach friendships. While most people seek friends to fill emotional voids, provide validation, or offer a sense of belonging, the Sigma male comes to friendships from a position of completeness, not need. This independence isn't cold or callous. It's liberating. When you don't need friends for emotional stability or self-worth, you can choose them based on genuine compatibility and mutual respect rather than desperation or social pressure. The average person enters friendships with hidden agendas. They want someone to listen to their problems, validate their decisions, or provide social status. The Sigma male enters friendships as an already complete individual, looking to share experiences with equally complete people. This approach naturally reduces the number of potential friends, because most people aren't operating from this level of self-sufficiency. Many potential friendships fizzle out when the other person realizes the Sigma won't play traditional friendship roles like constant emotional support or ego stroking. Independence also means the Sigma male doesn't tolerate toxic friendship dynamics. He won't enable someone's bad decisions to maintain the relationship. He won't pretend to agree with opinions he finds ridiculous just to keep the peace. This authentic approach weeds out people who are looking for yes men rather than genuine friends. The independence factor also explains why Sigma males often struggle with group friendships. Groups develop their own dynamics, hierarchies, and unspoken rules. The independent Sigma male resists being pulled into these systems, preferring one-on-one relationships where authentic connection can flourish. This independence is actually attractive to high-quality people who are tired of needy, dependent friendships. When someone encounters a Sigma male who doesn't need them but chooses to spend time with them anyway, it's refreshing and meaningful. Selective social circles. The Sigma male approaches social circles like a master chess player. Every move is calculated, every relationship serves a purpose, and nothing is left to chance. This isn't manipulation. It's intelligent social architecture designed to create the most fulfilling and productive social environment possible. While others stumble into friendships based on proximity, convenience, or social pressure, the Sigma male actively curates his social circle based on specific criteria, shared values, intellectual compatibility, mutual respect, and genuine character. This selectivity often puzzles people who operate on a more is better philosophy. They can't understand why someone would turn down social opportunities or be particular about who they spend time with. But the Sigma understands that every person in your inner circle influences your thinking, your mood, and your trajectory in life. Consider this. If you're trying to build a business, improve your health, or develop a skill, surrounding yourself with people who share these goals will accelerate your progress. Conversely, spending time with people who are complacent, negative, or pulling in different directions will slow you down or derail you entirely. The Sigma's selectivity extends beyond obvious compatibility factors. He's also looking for people who respect boundaries, communicate directly, and don't require constant maintenance. He gravitates toward other self-sufficient individuals who enhance his life, rather than complicate it. This selective approach means The Sigma's social circle tends to be small but incredibly powerful. Each relationship serves multiple functions: intellectual stimulation, mutual support, shared interests, and genuine companionship. There's no dead weight, no energy drains, no people you spend time with out of obligation. The quality of these selective relationships often surprises outsiders. Because everyone in the Sigma circle has been carefully chosen and actively maintained, these friendships tend to be deeper, more loyal, and more supportive than typical social relationships. Misunderstood nature. Perhaps no factor contributes more to the Sigma male's smaller social circle than the simple fact that most people fundamentally misunderstand who he is and what he's about. This misunderstanding creates barriers to friendship that can take years to overcome, if they're overcome at all. The Sigma male operates according to his own internal compass rather than social expectations, and this confuses people who are used to clearly defined social roles. He's not trying to lead like an alpha. He's not following like a beta, and he's not rebelling like a gamma. He's simply being himself. But this authenticity is so rare that people don't know how to categorize or relate to him. Many people interpret the Sigma's independence as arrogance, his selectivity as snobbishness, and his contentment with solitude as antisocial behavior. These misinterpretations create immediate barriers to friendship because people approach the Sigma with incorrect assumptions about his motivations and character. The Sigma's tendency to think deeply and speak honestly also puts off people who prefer surface-level interactions and socially acceptable pleasantries. When everyone else is making small talk about the weather, the Sigma might casually mention something he's been reading about quantum physics or philosophy. This depth intimidates people who aren't used to substantive conversations. Additionally, the Sigma's resistance to group dynamics and social hierarchies makes him difficult to place within existing friend groups. He won't play the designated roles that groups unconsciously assign. He won't be the entertainer, the validator, the yes man, or the leader. This refusal to fit into predetermined social slots makes him seem unpredictable or difficult to others. The misunderstood nature of the Sigma male also means that when he does find genuine friends, these relationships are particularly precious. These are people who have taken the time to understand and appreciate the Sigma's unique perspective and approach to life. The price of authenticity. Living authentically as a Sigma male comes with a cost, and one of the steepest prices is paid in the currency of social acceptance. When you refuse to compromise your values, mask your personality, or play social games to fit in, you automatically eliminate a large percentage of potential friendships. The Sigma male faces a choice that many people never consciously make: be authentic and have fewer friends, or be inauthentic and have more superficial relationships. The Sigma consistently chooses authenticity, even when it means eating lunch alone or declining social invitations that don't align with his interests. This commitment to authenticity means the Sigma won't pretend to enjoy activities he finds boring, laugh at jokes he doesn't find funny, or express opinions he doesn't hold just to maintain social harmony. This honesty is refreshing to some people and off-putting to others, naturally filtering his social circle. The price of authenticity also includes being misunderstood, judged, or excluded by people who can't handle genuine behavior in a world of masks and performance. The Sigma male accepts this cost because he understands that authentic relationships, while fewer in number, are infinitely more valuable than fake ones. This authenticity also means the Sigma's friendships are built on solid foundations. When someone chooses to be friends with a Sigma male, they're choosing to be friends with who he really is, not some social persona he's created to be more likable. The price of authenticity is high, but the Sigma male pays it willingly because he understands that anything less would be a betrayal of his core identity. He'd rather be alone and authentic than popular and fake. As we wrap up this deep dive into the Sigma male's approach to friendship, I want you to remember something crucial. Your selective nature isn't a flaw to be fixed, it's a feature to be celebrated. In a world that constantly pushes us toward quantity over quality, toward superficial networking over authentic connection, the Sigma male stands as a beacon of intentional living. We've explored how strategic solitude isn't loneliness, it's power. We've seen how quality trumps quantity in every meaningful relationship. We've understood that independence isn't isolation, it's freedom. We've recognized that selectivity isn't snobbery, it's wisdom. We've acknowledged that being misunderstood isn't a burden, it's the price of authenticity. And we've learned that authenticity itself, while costly, is the foundation of every relationship worth having. The Sigma male's approach to friendship is a masterclass in resource management, emotional intelligence, and strategic thinking. While others exhaust themselves maintaining dozens of shallow connections, you invest your energy in relationships that actually matter. While others compromise their values to fit in, you attract people who appreciate you for who you really are. Remember, the greatest leaders, innovators, and influencers throughout history weren't popular, they were respected. They didn't have the most friends, they had the right friends. And in a world increasingly dominated by superficial digital connections, your approach to building genuine, meaningful relationships is not just valuable, it's revolutionary. Your small circle isn't a limitation, it's a choice. It's a choice to prioritize depth over breadth, authenticity over approval, and quality over quantity. It's a choice that reflects your values, your intelligence, and your understanding of what truly matters in life. So the next time someone questions why you don't have more friends, remember this video. Remember that you're not antisocial, you're strategically social. You're not missing out, you're choosing better. You're not alone, you're selectively connected to people who truly matter. If this video resonated with your Sigma experience, if it helped you understand and appreciate your own social approach, then show your support by hitting that like button. Share it with other Sigma males who need to hear this message. And most importantly, subscribe to Official Sigma Male for more content that speaks directly to your unique mindset and experiences. Because in a world full of followers, we're here to celebrate the leaders. In a world full of conformity, we're here to honor the individuals. And in a world full of superficial connections, we're here to champion the men who choose quality over quantity every single time. Until next time, stay Sigma, stay selective, and remember, your friendship standards aren't too high, everyone else's are too low.